Alrighty, we are live on this September 1st, Labor Day in the United States of America. Specifically live from Columbus, OH. And this is the Ramsey Show Aftershow. And that means we have audio. This right, hit this button, do this, and click that. Okay, and you're watching this on youtube.com/coachstevemoney. And for my financial content, just scroll down past the Oak Island and Skinwalker Ranch playlist, and you'll see the Ramsey Show After Show playlist. That's this show. At 11:05 a.m. on the days that I am able to do that. The schedule is down below. I did not update it though. But there should be another Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week will be other after shows. So, and I will check my schedule to see when the financial answering your financial questions streams, the 8 p.m. streams. I'll check my schedule at the end of the show to see where it is. Sorry, I was going to update the times on the ticker, but I did not do that. That's my bad. There's also the music playlist that has 12 Ramsey adjacent songs in there. Such as, what are we on? The newest one, Hootie and the Blowfish, when you're on baby step 2, no spending money to seem cool, don't. When you're on baby step 2. Righty. Market report. Market actually closed today for the Labor Day holiday, but recently NVIDIA beat earnings, and I think they had a good outlook too for the next quarter, but still went down. So I don't know what's up with that, but the futures are up currently for the market for tomorrow when it opens. But of course, it could all change. It could be way higher tomorrow. It could also be negative tomorrow as well. So, but that does happen sometimes where the company will, I mean, they can't, what else can they do besides beat the expectations for income? And also say, yeah, we think we're going to make even more next quarter. But that's not good enough, I guess, when the market gets down. There must have been some bad news about something. I don't know what it would be. Let's go to the main, whoops, US there. There we are. And so this is from Friday. As you can see, market down. All the indices are down. We got Salesforce and Broadcom reporting this week. Let's look at the headlines, since we don't have any current numbers, except of course for these futures, which are all positive. The Dow just barely positive, 0.048. That's not that many. Where were we? Oh, the headlines. Let's see. Amazon's Labor Day sale is live, and we're tracking the best deals. Save up to 75% on Apple, Stanley, and more on the replay today. Dave Ramsey said that what is it? Apple's economy is higher than Egypt's. That was fun. LA council member accuses Home Depot of being complicit with ICE raids, opposes new store over silence. All right. Well, generally, if a government body that is allowed by law to do a raid comes into your store to uphold the law as far as illegals, I don't know what you can do about that. So, but of course, that is Los Angeles, California, though. So, of course, you're going to be outraged at that. At Home is closing 29 underperforming stores by September 30th, and that's going to happen. The 4% rule is now the 4.7% rule. That matters for your retirement. Mr. Ramsey does not advise the 4% rule. Anyway, regardless, the rule for the Ramsey rule on this is you take out only what you need. So if you only need 4% to live on in retirement, you just take out 4%. If you need 4.7, you take out 4.7. If you need 5, you take out 5. But the whole idea of people saying, oh, well, you only have to put, that's financial bro advice. This is like the standard that everybody goes by. You have to figure out how to live on 4% in retirement. No, you don't. If you make average 10% a year, you can take out 8 without touching the principal. That is simple math. People are dumb. I mean, do you have to say a number like 4%? I mean, you probably do for some people because they can't do a thing where they live on less than they make, where they keep their expenses low. You have to actually tell them a number that they can spend. And so that's nutty, and that's on them that they can't handle it. Corn and soybeans ruled American farm. Why that's a growing problem in charts. I wonder why. I wonder what problem that is causing. Everything causes a problem, though, apparently. How to make $1 billion selling hot dogs. All right, I guess that's somebody that has a hot dog company. Tesla sales in some European markets extends to 8th month. Sales route in some European markets. I think that means they're not selling that much in Europe anymore, I believe. For political reasons. CNBC oil giant Equinor backs crisis-stricken Orsted as Trump lashes out at offshore wind. Okay, well, you can yell at the wind a lot if you want to. My daughter famously said when she was, I'm going to go ahead and say around 5 or so, maybe even less than that. She started talking early. So it could have been younger than 5, but she was outside and like a heavy wind happened and she was like, stop winding. Michelle Obama, 61 years old, convinced me to buy the effortlessly cool $20 pants Taylor Swift is also a fan of. Okay, shouldn't even read that because I don't care about that stuff. Video open door on list of retail traders' favorite stocks heading into September. Yeah, well, why wouldn't they be? So why'd they go down then? I guess the whole market went down and they just followed suit, I suppose. Alrighty, that's your market report for Labor Day 2025. Let's get into some questions. We go to reddit.com/r/Dave Ramsey. And we scroll down to where I left off. I go from the bottom so I don't miss any questions since I do so many streams. They only have 1,000 at a time if it's still the same as it was a few years ago. And I have run out. I've done so many streams that I run out sometimes. Flat Jellyfish 6877 tweaks needed following the baby steps in Japan. Let's see. Normally in another country, the principles work and all the baby steps work, but the retirement accounts are going to have different names if they even exist. if you don't just have to open up a brokerage account and let that be your retirement account. And also the tax laws might be different in the country, and probably are different in any other country than the United States. 27-year-old man, single, moving to Tokyo in September for work at a Japanese company with an international workforce and somewhat international work culture. No forced drinking, etc., that is associated with Japanese company. You're forced to drink. I mean, I understand, like, if you go out to a business dinner and everybody else is drinking, that doesn't mean you have to. So this is dumb as crap. So this is a you problem, not a Japan problem. Current financial situation, step 3B, and that would be saving the down payment. 21K in stocks and index funds. You should not have any investing other than retirement until your house is paid off. So you should not have any. Although theoretically, the person could be in baby step 7, just renting at the moment. Could be. So, but single stocks not advised. Index funds not advised either for retirement. Mr. Ramsey does have index S&P 500 index fund where he keeps all of his real estate buying money and lets it sit there until a super great deal for him comes up, and then he pounces. But in retirement, it's managed mutual funds because those can beat the index, and so you find the ones that beat the index so you don't leave money on the table. Oh, there's more. My bad. Yeah, 20K in cash / cash equivalent after selling car or furniture. What would be a cash equivalent? Nutty. What do you got, a check or something? Anyway, 26K in Roth retirement account. Yeah, that should be the only retirement you should be doing. I mean, the only account. Obviously, the if it's a Roth IRA, you are limited, and hopefully, it will be more than the limit. I think it's like what is it, $8,000 now, I believe, and hopefully your annual income, 15% of that is more than the $8,000. 100K in company stock from previous role. You do not have single stock. Again, so what you do in that situation is you sell it, you take it, you say thank you very much, and then you sell it and get another investment, or you apply it to whatever baby step you're on. Instead, in this case, you should sell that and use that for a down payment. You apply that to your down payment money in step 3B. I'm assuming you're not going to, I don't know, maybe he wants to buy a house in Japan. I don't know. No debt. Let's see. Treating the company stock as monopoly money at this point, not factoring it into my life plans. That's dumb. It's an asset. It's 100K worth of it. So I understand if it was just a couple dollars in it, but this is $100,000 worth it. So you're dumb as treating it as monopoly money and not factoring it in to your life plans. That is really dumb. That would be the same thing as you having $100,000 in savings while also having debt and not paying it off. Apologies. Expecting some messages today. Oh, that was just from Sonic. Not that important. Apologies. Plan on holding for some time as it's not liquid, a private company. Well, you make it liquid, you sell it as soon as you can. You might have to wait X amount of months or something before you're vested, as it's called, and then you could sell them, and then you would sell it. And the company is likely to continue doing well. That doesn't matter. It's still a single stock, and that's a no for Mr. Ramsey. You could do whatever dumb crap you want to do, though, of course. Last valuation was several years ago. Based on my assessment, yeah, not really confident in your assessment. Let's see. Japan numbers likely will live there for 2 years to start and continue to stay there if I enjoy it. Okay, so no plans to buy a house there at the moment. Position pays 10 million yen per year, and didn't even need to say that. Could say 68,000 US. 68K is 10 million yen per year. All right. That's an exchange rate, isn't it? Mandatory contribution to pension and public health system. Okay. So if it's like the U.S., I don't know what their pensions are like, but if it's like the U.S., it's probably not going to be as much as the market generates. And so it would count as only half. Whatever you're contributing to the pension counts as half towards the 15%. Towards the Ramsey 15%. And the public health system, I mean, that's just going to be like another tax. Any thoughts on if there are some additional considerations when following the Ramsey plan in Japan, given this background? No, you do the same exact stuff. The same exact stuff. You would want to invest, so I don't know if you can still get that into your Roth account somehow. I mean, I guess you can, because if that's a Roth IRA, it's a personal account. If it's Roth 401k, then your company is handling that, and if it's a Japanese company, they're still handling it. So I think that's probably just a Roth IRA account is what he's talking about. For example, since healthcare is deducted prior to my paycheck hitting my bank account, I feel like for me, the appropriate way to calculate my U.S. equivalent take-home pay is to add the mandatory deduction to what hits my account, thus affecting how much house I can afford, etc. when taking 25% of my take-home. Okay, this is like you're thinking too far in advance there. Like you said, you're going to live there 2 years to see if you enjoy it. Okay? How about you put in a year first before you even start thinking about this stuff? I know you can, decide you want to buy a house wherever you'll be. That's fine. And so you can continue to save the down payment. But you don't need to get all this much into it as you are. As far as figuring out what the take-home pay is and all that, and trying to map out your entire life right now. You don't need to do that. You can just save money for the down payment. And of course, the Ramsey advice is to save 100% of the house price and pay cash for it. That is the Ramsey advice. Now he understands most people can't do that, and so he will not yell at you for getting a mortgage if it fits in his guidelines, the 15-year fixed rate mortgage, no 30s, so you can afford the payments. That means you can't afford the house. Let's see. So you're thinking about this too early, way too early, in my opinion. Let's see. I imagine there's going to be a bit of nuance in terms of how I manage my money in the situation. Everybody thinks their little situation changes things. Japan changes things. It doesn't. Where I decided to stay in Japan long term versus returning to the U.S. in a few years. I plan to rent for the next year or two before I decide if I want to buy a home or not. Right. So just save the down payment and stop worrying about this until you need to worry about it. Some questions in my head. How do I invest moving forward when being paid in yen? Well, you'd have to convert it. I don't know if like your brokerage will take yen directly, or if you would have to convert it first and then make your contribution in US dollars. You have to find out about that. Do I make use of the current investment vehicles I have, but first move cash from yen to dollars? Like I said, I do not know. So I don't know if United States brokerages will take contributions in other currencies. Probably they want US dollars, I'm guessing, because I don't see anything on my Fidelity account anywhere that doesn't, it specifically says US dollars. And so, but there may be a setting that lets you change it to different country currency. Are there some new investment vehicles I can take advantage of? No, there's no, and no, and no again doing that. You do not do that. You're only doing the 15%. So you see what your Japanese company, I guess, is offering, and see if you can even do that as a new person living there. See if you are even eligible for that, but you would do that. Otherwise, you would just do a brokerage account. Yeah, another new investment vehicle from Japan? No, unfortunately, I do not know about that. But also, you don't have to do that for 2 years. For 2 years, you can not invest at all. And of course, that's not going to be the financial bro way of doing it. Financial bros want to do everything all at the same time, but you could take 2 years off of investing and save a larger down payment faster. Thanks in advance, and please let me know if you need additional information. Yeah, I need a lot because I don't know particularly about what kind of investments might be available to you in Japan. So, and like if you are eligible through your company rather. So, but if not, you would just open up a brokerage account, and that will be the rest of your retirement, other than your Roth IRA, which I think this is. So the Roth IRA, that would be what you max out first, and then you would go to the standard brokerage account that is not tax advantaged. I'm scared. Let's see, low contest 9252. I'm starting to take, okay, there's more. I'm starting to take responsibility for my finances. Well, that should have happened the second you had finances. And I just got a new job that's great for the short term. It pays well above average for the kind of entry-level jobs I'd typically be qualified for. It's not the end goal. I have an email marketing business I'm trying to grow, but this job is what I need to get by in the meantime. Okay, great. The issue is that I'm dealing with an adductor strain, a leg injury. Okay. This job requires a lot of walking, which makes it harder to fully recover. I'm doing rehab exercises, and I've dealt with this strain before, but I feel cornered. Well, I mean, you're taking a walking job and you have a leg injury. This is on you as a dumb decision. Or, I mean, did you consult your physician with that? Whoever is your doctor, and whoever you're doing rehab exercises with, say, well, there's going to be this much walking, and if they say that's too much, then you don't do that job, you would think. So quit being dumb and make sure you're healthy while also working. So you might need a different kind of job. Most entry-level jobs I'd qualify for require being on my feet in some way, so I don't have many options. But you do have some options, though. Not all of them are being on your feet in some way, and you may be able to be on your feet in some capacity, but not as much as this particular job offers. And so you don't go overboard and say, oh, well, if I can't do this job with a lot of walking, I can't do any walking. That is dumb as crap. You're being too dramatic. You're being extra. I'm putting effort into building my email marketing business on the side so I can eventually work at a desk and fully recover. Okay, that's great. Do that. What's the problem? But right now, I just feel too many feelings. Too many feelings are happening. How about we go with facts and what you know, not what you feel? People are nutty with that. I feel like, for me, trapped between needing the income and worrying about making my injury worse. This is why you consult your rehab specialist and your doctor. I don't know if there's any way to make myself feel better about the situation, but I wanted to see if anyone here has feedback or advice. I say talk about it with your rehab specialist or your doctor, or better yet, both. Edit, if you think a strain is nothing, then don't waste your time commenting. You don't understand the... Okay. Well, you just want to do your little thing, and you don't want to have hear any advice, apparently. You just want to hear what you want to hear and not the truth. And the truth and facts are what you should be dealing with, not with what you feel. This is the Dave Ramsey subreddit. It's not the feelings help page. Try BetterHelp for that. New car, Roth conversion first. Sorry. PR professor. Public relations professor. Roth conversion, and that is advised because Roth is the second best option for investing. The first, of course, being the match, because that's 100% rate of return on that. So the match first, and then the Roth conversion, or then a Roth account. And so if you don't already have a Roth account, you should do that. If you have a standard 401k and your company has a Roth option, and now you're smart enough to consult the Ramsey advice, then that would be to do that. But the Roth conversion is going to create a tax event because you did not pay money on those contributions before, and so you will have to. But the amount of time that unless you're almost ready to retire right now, which it wouldn't be worth it probably, if you have plenty of years, 20 plus years, it will pay for itself because you won't have to pay taxes on all of the gains. I've inherited about $500,000 in an Edward Jones brokerage account. My mother paid taxes on any increases in that fund every year. When I asked the EJ Edward Jones rep about transferring the total amount of that account to a Roth, she claimed that only $8,000 a year could be moved. That sounds sus to me. It sounds like that rep wants to keep it in whatever it is in now, but I don't think that's true. I mean, unless you're talking about doing a new Roth account every single year for it, because 8K is the maximum, right? But that's only if you're 50 and over. So I don't know why that would be. Since the account has already had taxes paid on it across its lifespan, this sounds like a bogus assertion. No, you still do have to pay taxes on it. She paid taxes on any increases in that fund every year on the brokerage account. If it's a brokerage account, it's not a retirement account. So you don't pay taxes on it. You pay taxes on your income that you put in there, just like that you would use to buy food or anything else. So I don't know what's going on here. Since the account already had taxes paid on it across its lifespan, there are no taxes on a brokerage account that you have to pay every year. This sounds like a bogus assertion. Would appreciate any insights about the possibility of doing such a conversion, right? And so the deal is, see, you wouldn't create a tax event by doing that. I would find out what those taxes are for every year, because theoretically then you would have to pay taxes now on it after inheriting it if the account is generating taxes. And now if it's fees based on the investments that are in there, that's not taxes. So I would find out exactly what that is. Let's take a look. Edward Jones, 8K a year limit on Roth conversion. Let's see what we got. There's no annual dollar limit on Roth conversions from a traditional IRA. It's not a traditional IRA, though. It's a brokerage account. Let's see if it says. On Roth conversion from brokerage account. And now we'll both know. Let's see, Roth conversion. Yes, we do. That is not a conversion limit, but the 2025 maximum IRA contribution for those age 50 and over. The key distinction is between the IRA contribution and a Roth conversion. Maybe you can't do that. Yeah, maybe you can't do it with the brokerage account straight to it. It has to be in a different type of retirement account maybe to do that. So you would have to basically cash it out, move it all to an IRA, I guess first, where you do. I mean, they can probably do it all in one fell swoop, so you don't have to have a freaking IRA first, which would be no taxes on the contributions, but then it's taxes on the you do have to pay taxes in retirement on the gains when you take the money out in retirement. So they can probably just convert it directly, but yeah, I don't know about that. But that's probably what the problem is, because it's not coming from a retirement account already. Since a brokerage account is not a retirement account, you cannot convert assets from it to a Roth IRA account. Instead, you can sell assets in your brokerage account and contribute the cash to Roth IRA, subject to the IRS rules, the contribution limit. Okay, so you can only move it. Okay, so you can't just throw it all in there. Okay. Yeah, and so they are gonna keep you to those limits. So basically, the brokerage account is just like if you had cash and you're putting it in a retirement account for the first time, because that's what you're doing. Because it's not in a retirement account, so you're stuck with those rules. So yeah, you cannot do that. So it would be, so this person might be 50 or older, and if so, that's where the $8,000 would come in. Also have to earn the income as well, and I don't think inherited brokerage account count as income. It might. You can find out. Eligibility to make full Roth IRA. Contribution is phased out at higher income levels, so it depends on how your income. The phase out range is between 150,000 and 165,000 per year. So if you don't make that, you can do the 8,000 a year. But yeah, that's what you're looking at. And so your option would be to either move it to no, that's even for IRA as well. Yeah, so you can't even move to IRA. So you should probably keep it unless you have to take mandatory distributions greater than the 8,000 per year. Then you would just take those and put it in, high yield savings account or in your own brokerage account, and wait for the next year to happen so that you can do a Roth IRA account. And if you already have a Roth IRA account, what you're contributing to that is going to affect that as well. I don't think you don't get to convert something and also be contributing to the Roth IRA as well. And you can open more than one Roth IRA account, but you can only do 8,000 a year if you're 50 or over, with all of them added up together. So like you can have 8 of them with 1,000 each, why you would do that, I don't know, but that's how that works. So yeah, so you basically, the short answer is, yeah, you can't, no, you can't do that. And so they're right. Fine. We learned something today, kids. Let's see. Blah, 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 blah. So if you Googled it, let's see. So, and as far as what taxes you're talking about, I don't know what that would be. In the brokerage account, I never had a brokerage account, so I don't know. Do you have to pay taxes every year on a brokerage account? Here, we'll learn all kinds of crap today here. Do you have to pay taxes every year on a brokerage account? Yes, you don't have to pay taxes annually on investment income earned in a taxable brokerage account, such as, okay. So we learned today. Maybe some of you guys knew that already, but I did not. So we learned here. So that's what it is. So that's just because it's in a brokerage account, and brokerage accounts are not eligible to transfer to do a Roth conversion from. So you would have to cash it out and make it cash, and you're limited to the $8,000. Actually, you can convert it, but you're limited to the $8,000 per year, sir. So it just doesn't work like you thought it worked is the answer, and it doesn't work like I didn't know how it worked, which I admitted immediately. And so, Google works better than the Dave Ramsey subreddit sometimes for finding out such information. Or if you ask the right questions to the Edward Jones rep, I'm sure that Edward Jones rep would have told you. Hungry Plane 1724, new car, new engine. And you know who you talk to about that? A mechanic. To see if it's worth putting a new engine in that particular car. It may not be. And that's when you say time of death on the car. Buy car. I'm going to get another used car instead of a new car. It might be new to you. But otherwise, you're doing it wrong. I bought my dream car 2 years ago in all cash. Oh, that's sad. That's why you shouldn't have a dream car, because the engines can go out. So don't have dreams where the engines can go out. I didn't want debt. That's great. And so you continue to not have debt. I paid $18K after trading in my old car. It's a 2019 Mustang and it has 61K miles on it. I put $900 in so far for repairs, random upkeep stuff. I just found out I'm probably going to have to get a new engine. Okay, probably is different than you actually need one. So while you're having your mechanic take a look at it, have them look at the engine too and get a second opinion rather than just the one. People love to only get one quote on something or one opinion. Ford has 2 lawsuits against it for engine issues, and a lot of people are having the same problems as me and had to fully replace the engine. That doesn't mean that you will, though. See, that's your problem. You don't need to overreact to stuff. It's going to cost me $7,000 plus. I mean, if you really like the car, you might want to do that. And if a different car will cost you net $7K, then that's up to you. My name is Paul, and that's between y'all if you want to put a new engine in it. But I would consult a mechanic, because I don't know anything about cars. I'm trying to decide what is more financially responsible, just replacing the engine or buying a new car. It wouldn't be a brand new car. You cannot buy a brand new car under the Ramsey auspices unless you are a millionaire, and of course that does have to be in cash. I don't want a car payment. You say you don't want debt, and you say you don't want a car payment, so just don't do those, and you don't even have to mention it. So don't even have that be mentioned as being on the table. When you say you don't want something, you're saying, but I might have to get it anyway. No, you do not have to. So I'd likely want to buy it in cash again. Yeah, but that would take a huge hit into my savings. Hey, man, do you want a vehicle that runs or not? Quit being stupid. My goodness gracious me. People are nutty. But that would take a huge hit in my savings. Okay, the money has to come from somewhere, right? Right? But I also don't want to have to put more money into the car if something else goes wrong in the future. Stuff is going to go wrong with cars. If you buy another car, it's going to have a problem at some point. If you buy a brand new car, which is not part of the advice here, but if you would do that, something is going to go wrong with it eventually. Quit being dumb. See, you got to be realistic about stuff and be logical about stuff, especially when it involves money, not just whiny, very whiny. Quit being whiny, be logical, and make good decisions instead of being dumb. Deleted. Need help with 20K in debt. And how you pay off 20K in debt is, of course, you do not spend that money on anything else. Cut your budget down to things that are 100% necessary to live only. I'm $21,000 in debt. We added $1,000 from the title to the body of the comment. So that's not good. Was that interest that you forgot previously? Or did we round? We do rounding for the title and not rounding for the body? 17K in a credit card, and 3,800 of it is medical debt. I recently switched jobs and I'm making 62K a year, but can do some overtime when it is available. Do all of it when it's available. I also am able to get a production bonus, which for this last month was about $170. Great. All that goes to debt. We have some additional income that comes out to 25K a year. All that goes to debt. And then my wife has a part-time job that is around $20 an hour, but is not consistent from week to week. But all that should go to debt. We have gotten to the first baby step and then immediately have to pull out of it, and it brings that total down. Why? Why? What is the emergency? So the first baby step is save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund, and that should only be spent for emergencies. What emergencies have you had? I have an HSA that I can pull out of completely because I have receipts, $3,500. Okay, if you have to, but again, what is it that is the emergency here? And I have a small investment portfolio that I can pull from, $3,500. If it's not a retirement account, that's exactly what you should do. All that would go to debt anyway, regardless of this emergency, but it would help take care of the emergency first. Although this is a fund I have built up from money I have made doing photography, that doesn't matter at all. This feels like, for me, a side hustle I can do, but I haven't made a lot from it just currently way out. Okay, getting distracted with your life story. Currently, we have $100 in our baby emergency fund. What happened to the other $900? What was the emergency? See, I just don't trust people, and most of them are full of crap. And it was probably, we had to go out to eat or something. Just seeing that right there. Our grocery bill seems to be eating us along with eating out. So you don't eat out. There's no eating out. There's no eating out. And get control of your grocery bill. Stop buying expensive food. Stop buying too much food. Quit being dumb. And random things here and there. No, there's no random things here and there. Unless it's 100% necessary to live, you do not do that. Sorry, that's not that much fun, I know, but that is how you fix this situation and get ahead of the game even when you actually do have emergencies. But I would not hold my breath on this actually having been an emergency, because I think this is probably just random things here and there instead, and they had to do it which they didn't. It feels like my wife and I, for me, can't get ahead and be on the same page. Have you guys? Well, you got to get on the same page. Yeah. I would get on the same page first and then get ahead. Have you guys been able to work as a team when it comes to tackling debt? My wife gets anxious when we talk finances and it's hard to stick to a budget. How would you tackle the debt? You have to talk finances and stick to the budget. Like, that's got to be something you agree to do, stick to a budget. But that budget can be what you two agree on as well. And so neither of you might be happy, but you compromise, and that is what a marriage is all about. So you would do that, and if you can't do that, then you both need counseling. If you cannot communicate effectively and then compromise, and if you can't do that, then it's time for the third C, which is counseling. So the problem here goes further than the debt. But also, I think it's just normal BS where people have the $1,000 emergency fund and then something comes up that's not an emergency and they spend the money out of the emergency fund. And that is not the advice. Budgeting advice, okay? There's been a lot of linked comments or questions on here, like two of the same subject in a row. That's been happening a lot lately. Budgeting advice. Hello, I am 31 years old, currently debt free. Well, don't say currently. Let's always keep it that way. I came to learn more about Dave Ramsey from my experience with credit cards. That means probably you got in trouble with the credit cards. And hopefully you got rid of those. I'm blessed with good finances for now. See, what is this currently and for now crap? That is so much the wrong attitude to have about it. So if you got rid of your debt and you're not doing debt, then what is going to be the problem here that's going to give you bad finances in the future? So that's just I don't know. I am a very optimistic person, so I don't get all this doom and gloom crap a lot of times. So what's the currently and for now crap? Stop it. Oh, there's more. Of course there is. Where are we? And I noted that my spending has upticked a lot in the last few years as my savings, income have increased. And that shouldn't happen. At least not that much. I mean, once you get out of baby step 2, paying off all your debt, sure, you can have a little bit more fun, but you still need to be gazelle intense while you do your full emergency fund as well. So, and then only when you're on step 4, then that would be time to have a noticeable uptick in spending. Let's see. Also got a little bit fat. Yeah, hey, guess what? That means eating too much, spending too much on food then. It's right there. That's where the money is, right there in your belly. From eating out a lot. Yeah, so you don't eat out until you have your full emergency fund. Maybe has it. So don't know, didn't say what step, just said what would Dave do. No baby step flair there to tell me which one. I'm in phase of moving out of psychology and spending on eating out and earning reward points to cover my flights in the future. Oh, we're still using credit cards, so you're doing it wrong. You're a dumbass. I am ashamed that I have fallen for consumerism. Then stop it then. Stop it. And if you can't make yourself as a 31-year-old adult, then you need counseling. I started using a debit card last month. I was initially just purchasing things that I actually needed, and then I realized that I was doing the same thing that I did with credit cards. My spending was low initially, I guess. A few weeks of using debit card, and now it is back to where it was before. So I need a budget, and also you should have had a budget already. Why didn't you have a budget already? That's part of baby step 0, is you do the budget. And I also want it to be flexible from additional expenses when I go out with friends and family. I don't want to appear super stingy. That is secondary to the health of your finances. So I don't care about that. People are so freaking nutty. They are so dumb about stuff like this. So this is my plan for now. I want to keep my spending under $35 a month, $3,500 a month. This includes $2K rent, gym, and utilities. Well then, hey, here's what you do. You do that. You do not allow yourself to spend more than $3,500. And if you do that, then again, you may need counseling. If as a 31-year-old adult, you cannot make yourself do that. I will buy groceries without any restrictions. As a vegan person, this is never a big expense. Well, great. So you shouldn't be doing that. So you're just being dumb. Go out with a girlfriend a couple of times a month and eat out. No other dining out. Again, if you're on step 4, 5, and 6, or just step 4 even, that's fine to do that every so often. Couple of times a month, it's fine, but you can't do that on top of the buying too many groceries and on top of a bunch of other things. No other dining out, not even occasional coffee. Okay, that theoretically should be fine, but you should really limit it while you're on baby step 3. If you are clothing and electronics, $150 a month. I honestly don't think I need any more electronics right now. I know that you don't. Stop it. Have one small trip every month with my girlfriend for about $750 to $1,000. That's a no if you're on baby step 3. You're doing it wrong if you're on baby step 3. Depending on how much, that's every month. See, here's your thing. So you're not just doing the every month trip. You're also 2 times a month going to eat out with this girlfriend as well. Where we at? Depending on how much I am saving from this personal budget of 3.5K. Okay, so that's within the 3.5K. So yeah, so if you stay within the budget, you're doing it right. The budget may need to be cut down further, though, in my opinion. Probably it does. Almost always it does, no matter what's in it. Only time can tell if this will work or not. See, this is some. Oh, this way of thinking is so dumbass. It works. It works. This has 20 million documented success stories. It works. The problem here is you that's not working, not the Ramsey advice. But is this budget too restrictive or too open-ended? Too open-ended. You're spending too much now. I want to set myself up for success. Let me know from your experiences. Really appreciate your time and effort in helping me. I really want to go back to being frugal, healthier, version of me. What? Oh, version, I guess. It's supposed to be a version. Then do it. If you really want to do something, you would do it. You would make yourself do it. And again, if you know that's the best thing for you and you cannot do it, then you need psychiatric help. Counseling of some type. So you don't need budgeting advice as much as that, but, and plus need to know what baby step you're on. How many? 15 comments? Let's see if there's any additional information. I've included car expenses, home, blah, 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 blah. $600 for groceries a month. For one person, that's excessive. That's excessive. You don't need to spend that much. Even with, other things like laundry detergent, etc. in there. Yeah, you can live on more than that. So stop it. Debt-free, no mortgage. Yeah, that's good questions. Am debt-free. I don't have a mortgage at the moment. Great. Okay. Save around 70% of paycheck for retirement and future house purchase. Okay. So, I mean, if you're doing that and that's not getting spent elsewhere, I mean, that's not bad, but you can still cut expenses down more. Currently spending around 4 to 5K a month. It is mainly rent and food, right? You do need to get, your weight is showing you where some of it's going. I feel like for me, I'm spending a lot and I feel very little happiness compared to the amount of money I am spending. Right, so stop it. Easy. You shouldn't need somebody on the internet to tell you, oh, I don't feel good about this. Then why do I have to tell you to stop it? Why didn't you already stop it? And not even have to write this on here. I don't have big upcoming expenses. I wish I was in a position of life to buy a house. You're not, but you're saving it. Quit being a dumbass. The inflation and market uncertainty does not make me happy. I would rather have a home. Okay, and, answering something that wasn't asked. I mean, this was, do you have a mortgage? Does it mean, well, let's talk about all your feelings. Talk about your feeling of not wanting to have better finances. How about that? Let that be the overriding feeling and do that instead. People are nutty. Oh, let's say Sid says do a special dinner once a month for 75 to 100, and that 90% makes a huge difference. That much is certain, Sid. Doesn't get it though. Doesn't get it. Can't make herself do it. Need advice on what to do with 75K. Hi all, as title states, I recently received 75K from something. That's sus when you won't tell us what it is. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's fine. 24 years old, I have $13,000 in student loans. Oh, guess what? When you receive money from any source, including something, it goes to whatever baby step you're on, and congratulations, you're on, if not step 1, you're on step 2, and so that means that 75K will get rid of that 13K in student loans, and I owe my father around 25, so that'll get rid of that too, so that money's basically gone. Congratulations, he paid off part of my student loan, so interest wouldn't build up. My question is, do I pay off the entirety of my student loans? Yes, 38K, and invest the rest, 37K. You don't invest prematurely. So if you're still in college and still have to pay for it, you would not pay off the student loans just to take out more. You would use the money to go to college as well and not invest it. Or do I invest the entire 75K? No, you do not keep debt around to have more investing. That is financial bro BS, and we do not do that in the Ramsey world. To him in the loan service, no. Don't really have anyone to go to for financial advice. Well, you should go to Mr. Ramsey and not even this subreddit, which is why I'm resorting to Reddit. You could just go to the Ramsey Solutions website and get this same advice. I have an appointment with my financial advisor soon, but I wanted to come to Reddit first to gain a little bit more knowledge before proceeding with my financial advisor. Do you mean a financial coach that you got through Ramsey? Because a lot of financial advisors are not going to give you the Ramsey advice. Any advice would be greatly appreciated, and there's probably nothing more of consequence there. Oh, yeah. Oh, edit. My father knows I obtained 75K. That doesn't matter. You should pay him off anyway. You would apply that to any debt. Any money you get goes to these steps in this order, whatever step you are on. If you don't have $1,000 in savings already, then now you do. And then also you pay off all of that debt. There's no investing, zero investing while you have debt. You are doing it wrong, sir. He's understand, and to be honest, understanding maybe. To be honest, there's no rush to get paid back. It doesn't matter. Mr. Ramsey is the no debt guy, and that includes to your dad. Especially to your dad, because you shouldn't do money stuff with family. But of course, I'm not taking advantage of that. Yes, you are. Quit being dumb. I talked to him and his advice was pay off my 13K, invest, and then pay him back. And he's wrong about that. I do make an additional 24K annually at my side job. I was thinking of using that to pay him totally off over the next year. No, you're doing it wrong. That is not the advice here. I told him I'd pay him back over the next year since my side. Okay, now, and you know I will pay him back. So much of saying the same thing over and over and over again, that is not the advice to do it. Any money coming in goes to whatever baby step you're on, and that's step 2 first. So you would be doing paying off all of your debt. So you pay off the debt to your dad, you pay off your student loan debts, and then the rest you would use for college. If you're still going. If you're not still going, then that can be the start of your full emergency fund. So, got a great idea. Follow the baby steps. Even if you get some, people think that their little situation, even if they get, even if it's something like they get a sum of money, how is that different than you just getting another paycheck and you applying that to your expenses? And then you're also your baby steps. So you do the same thing. So your paycheck takes care of your expenses, so you don't use that. The any windfalls like this, any extra money you use to your baby steps. And that's always no exceptions on that. So you don't do extra investing while you do it. That, my friend, is called debt leverage, and that's your financial bro advice and not the Ramsey advice. Disgraceful humanity. Oh my goodness, 1207. Time just flies, doesn't it? Money market savings. Just guessed my baby step. Just guessed my baby step. No periods, no capitals. Fun time. Oh, there's one right there. I'm a stay-at-home mom. No comma. No, I'm a stay-at-home mom. Recently, I had lots of cash saved that I never put anywhere but a regular savings account anyways. No, that would be savings account, period, and then capital A, anyways, comma. Oh, that is a comma, my bad. Just no period there. Okay. I decided to open 3 money market accounts to max out the profits. Why 3 different ones? People are so nutty with things they decide to do. Why 3 different ones? To max out the profits I would get back. So one has $50,000 and 2 others have $2,500. Why? Is that some three thing at some particular bank or other financial institution? They're having a special. If you open 3, then you get blah 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 blah. Maybe. My partner seems to. Oh, you got a business partner? Great. My partner seems to think I should have just put them in the one. Yeah. How I thought about it, the next tier is $100,000 after the $50,000. So in a sense, I didn't feel like for me I'd earn any more profit if I had more than 50,000 in that one money market account. So that's why I split it up. Does this person not understand math? That amount of money is in there because I wasn't sure what my future is going to look like, so I kept it available to get easier instead of that is fine. Should have done a high yield savings account probably instead. Okay, so let me tell you this. So if you would have it all in the same account, it makes the same amount of money, same amount of interest as it does. Now, the money market account could have different interest rates depending on how much is in there. But generally, that would be the more that's in there, the higher the interest rate. So why wouldn't you have put it all in there? So you're being nutty, or I just don't understand it. I've never had a money market account, so I cannot say for sure about that. And it's not important enough to me to Google about it. But in general, like if you go to your bank right now, unless they have some kind of deal where more money equals more interest paid per month, it's going to earn the same amount of money. And hopefully you're not so dumb that you think that uh, it's $100,000. So of course the interest on $100,000 is going to be more than the interest on 50,000, right? Even if it's at the same interest rate, it's going to be more because that's more money. That is the basis. Anyway, so people are nutty. The amount of money is in, oh, I did that already. Future's going to look like, oh, in case you're wondering, plus I didn't know how to invest it. We plan to pay off our home by the end of the year using this money as well. Why don't you just put it right to the, why did you put it in money market? You just pay it on the house now. You're so dumb. You're so dumb. And was there any benefit to me putting all the money in one money market, or did I do it right by separating them to max out each tier? Also, you're debt leveraging by not paying off the house with that money. You're debt leveraging. Congratulations. So, which means, of course, you're doing it wrong, and you're not on any baby step. You're doing it wrong. You're doing financial bro crap. You're not doing Ramsey stuff. You're not on baby step 6. You are dumb as well. All right. Fun times. Let's see. So not tomorrow, I think. Maybe. It might be a surprise after show tomorrow. But if not, I will be doing them on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Unless my schedule changes. And tomorrow then, if I don't do an after show, I will do an 8 p.m. stream. Let's see, global finding. I think I will. Depends if I'm working. I can't remember if I'm working a mid shift or not tomorrow. Global finding, debt free, 185K in a high yield savings account. Okay, so you should not have that money in a savings account like that if you have a mortgage still. Again, that's debt leveraging as well, but we'll see what the question is here. Primrose Meadow 93. Advice needed: balancing student loan repayment with saving, investing, and life expense. And that's a no on all of that. You don't have any life expenses. Just what you need to barely live on is what you buy as far as life expenses. There's no saving. You have, oh, I wonder if the baby steps cover this. Oh, look, it does. Step 1, save $1,000 for your starter emergency fund. It doesn't say save 1 cent more than that. The next thing it says is pay off all your debt, and that includes student loan debt. So I guess you're not going to be doing any saving or investing until you get to those steps, right? Right. These are one at a time. You do not move on to saving the full emergency fund past the $1,000 until you're done with step 2, paying off all your dumbass debt. You also don't invest until you have your full emergency fund, which you don't even start until you've paid off all your debt. You're doing it wrong. So this person is doing it wrong is the summary on that one, but we'll find out exactly what other dumb crap that person's doing. Dumb normal stuff. Using 0% APR to gain traction. Dumb. You don't use debt even at 0% interest to make your financial situation better. Stay-at-home moms or spouses of stay-at-home moms. All right, we'll find out what that's about. Significant ways to save on childcare and school. No private school. Sometimes it doesn't make sense for both spouses to work at the same time. Sometimes it makes more financial sense for one of the spouses to stay home to take care of child and to work opposite shifts. Sometimes that is better for finances. Hypothetical question: would the baby steps have worked in ancient times? Well, I don't think there was not like debt in the forms that it's in today, so that might make it easier. But just not spending more than you make. I don't know if people got money or they just traded goods for work in the ancient time you're talking about. So the basic advice would still work, but it all depends on many parameters. Food budget tips for organic eaters. You might have to lay off of that for a couple years while you get your finances in better shape if the organic stuff costs that much more money. And if it costs more money than the cheap stuff, and you decide to buy that, then you have to cut other things out of your budget then. To make up for it. Struggling with baby step two, not baby baby step two, staying motivated. Why did you start the steps? That should be your motivation for continuing step two. Why did you bother to start the steps? Obviously, there was an issue. The issue is still there if you're on baby step two. So what's the problem? Quit being a wuss. Get it done. Make it happen. Debt shrinking. Excellent. Debt-free screen with a $500K mortgage. Yes. So again, people love to like nitpick the Ramsey show and Dave himself. People love to nitpick. They allow you to do a debt-free screen if you finish step two. You can do one if you finish step two. The mortgage doesn't have to be paid off. Quit being a dumbass about it. That's how the show works. That is the parameter of it. You can do a debt-free screen when you finish the step two, which means you are out of non-mortgage debt. So you're allowed to do a debt-free screen then, so shut the heck up. Baby step one, time to give my wife what she deserves. No, it's not. You know what she deserves is to be out of debt, which is step two. So that's where all the money would go instead of giving away. We'll find out what dumb crap is involved in that. Of course, people being dumb. I'll let you know when somebody on here is being smart. Flush IRA to pay off HELOC. No, you do not tap retirement at all to do that. All right, so that's enough. Where did that take us to 3 days ago? FXAIX, and that is a Fidelity, I believe, a Fidelity index account based on one of the indexes, and so that's a no. And then the Vanguard target date retirement fund, you would also not do because that's not aggressive enough. It's too conservative. So neither of these. How about managed mutual funds in the categories that Mr. Ramsey advises? A four-way split and small, mid, large cap, and international. The advice is not difficult. Like the question, so nice. Question was so nice, the person that thought they had to type it in twice. Dumb. All right. So again, I'll let you know when somebody's being smart because I'll be very surprised. Alrighty, once again, Coach Steve Money, Ramsey Solutions Certified Financial Coach. And if you, yes, you are having money problems, or you just want to make sure you're on the right track, you can schedule a free consultation assessment with me at Calendly. Nope, not doing that anymore. Forgot. My schedule changes too much to try to use a website because that's too much updating because my schedule changes at the last minute sometimes. So you have to email me and we will work it out. We'll work out a date and time, I promise. And that email, of course, is coachstevemoney@gmail.com. You can also use that email address for any questions about anything on my YouTube channel, anything about financial coaching, anything about financial stuff in general. Except why people are so dumb. I don't know why they are. PayPal.me/CoachSteveMoney for donations. Also, alternatively, CashApp $CoachSteveMoney. Walmart gift card using that same email address. Yet one more time, coachstevemoney@gmail.com. Upcoming streams on this subject to change. I'm probably gonna play some. Probably wait for it to get dark, but we'll be playing some more Last of Us Part 2 chronologically tonight. The Ramsey Show Aftershow show, 11:05 a.m. Eastern Time, and that would be all those are old. Today is Labor Day, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, September 3rd, 4th, and 5th will be after show. So again, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time for that. And then answering your financial questions stream. August is gone, so I do need to update this. I did one Thursday. I also did one Saturday and Sunday as well. So I don't know. I would think Tuesday, and again, unless that's a mid show. Let me check for you. One brief moment. Do 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 do. Well, oh, there it is. Found it. There's the first, the second. So yeah, there on Tuesday there will, if not a surprise after show, 11:05 a.m. There will be an 8 p.m. answering your financial questions stream on Tuesday, September 2nd. That's tomorrow. And confirming Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday are all after shows. On September, excuse me, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So if I do the after show, I don't do the 8 p.m. stream, which is why there's not many for next week. But there looks like there could be both Saturday and Sunday, the 6th and 7th. There could be 8 p.m. streams. Obviously, no Ramsey show on Saturday or Sunday, so there's no after show on Saturday or Sunday. Alright, and what I will do is I will update the ticker right now, and that way it will be done for the future. Alrighty, thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And as always, stop being dumb, people. Always make smart financial decisions every day.